Hello and welcome to the Revolutionary Marriage Podcast. I'm Dr. Debi, and today we're talking about a pattern I've seen in every couple I've ever worked with. The pattern has 4 rapid-fire stages. 1, they fall in love. 2, they misunderstand one another. 3, they feel disconnected. And 4, they engage in inevitable conflict. It starts soon after they meet, but they ignore it for as long as they can because they both fear losing the high of being in love. The problem isn't the conflict. It isn't even their defensive disconnection. The real problem is that they don't understand one another. If they did, they could tap back into the chemistry that first drew them together and harness the power of their perfectly matched gender differences to keep their love alive and passionate. The romantic comedy lays it out perfectly and predictably. Their relationship starts with a serendipitous meeting, the meet cute. He's determined to win her attention, and he succeeds. Then he messes up, or at least she thinks he does, and the rest of the story is about him winning her back. Sound familiar? Actually, that's not far from the truth of real-life love stories, because beneath the humor and charm, the same 4 stages play out again and again, only without the movie-length resolution. What if from the beginning she understood more about men? She would know how he thinks, what he feels, and, most importantly, the power she has over him. Then his behavior would make sense. She wouldn't panic when he goes quiet. She'd recognize it as a normal part of being male, not as a sign that something is wrong or a rejection of her. She'd know that his calm exterior often hides deep sensitivity. That knowledge changes everything. And what if, from the beginning, he knew more about how she operates beyond how beautiful she is? She'd still be a mystery, but he'd have a framework for decoding her emotions and actions. He'd see that her intensity isn't intended as criticism. It's her deep desire for connection. He'd understand that her tears aren't weaknesses or a sign of manipulation. They help her communicate how much something means to her. When a man truly sees that, he leads with compassion instead of confusion. Most couples are clueless. Chemistry brought them together like magic, but chemistry alone can't keep them together. They've been told that passion naturally fades, that real love is calmer, flatter, safer. But that's a dangerous myth that causes far too many couples to settle for good enough when they were created for extraordinary. You don't need to lose your chemistry for your love to mature. You need to understand what makes that chemistry so powerful, so you can use it to synergize your union. Unfortunately, too many couples try to neutralize one another, and if they succeed, they destroy the very reason they got together in the first place. Chemistry is not the problem. It's the misunderstanding of how the opposite sex operates. When you don't understand, you assume something's wrong, and you begin to panic a little inside, and you go into defensive mode whether you realize it or not. That defense creates instant disconnection. And disconnection always precedes conflict. By the time a couple seeks help, they've been in conflict so long they believe conflict is the issue. But resolving conflict won't bring lasting transformation, because that approach, the one so much of the world focuses on, ignores the disconnection and its root cause, misunderstanding. When you correct the misunderstanding, connection follows naturally. And once connection is restored, conflict often disappears when you realize you have different points of view without losing your connection. That's what turns a relationship from reactionary to revolutionary. If you recognize yourself anywhere in this pattern, don't wait for stage 4 to make a change. Start with understanding. Download my free guide, 3 Secrets to Being Heard. I'll post the link below for you. It's a simple way to learn how men and women differ and how those differences, when honored, become the foundation for synergy, not struggle. Because extraordinary love isn't about avoiding disagreements. It's about learning to understand one another deeply and letting that understanding turn your chemistry into lifelong connection. Thank you for joining me on the Revolutionary Marriage Podcast. And remember, extraordinary love is never an accident. It's the result of delighting in your God-given differences. Strength, beauty, synergy, life.